Welcome everyone, Player One Reviews here, and I'm excited to talk about the newly released Pokemon Sword and Shield game. There's been a huge controversy regarding these games, but is it really that bad? Well, sort of, and I'll explain why. Sword and Shield starts off like every other Pokemon game. A kid with nothing but a dream goes off on an adventure to become a Pokemon master. This all happens in Galar, a region that closely resembles the UK. And you also have a friend/rival called Hop that tags along with you. A story that many Pokemon fans have been through, and not much has changed. This also includes the graphics of this game, which is improvement but looks similar to the Pokemon Let's Go game, but just with better environments. So while the town gym looks amazing, they are still tiny, and the game actually starts off pretty slow with a non-skippable generic cutscene and your basic introductory dialogue. Make sure to at least enable fast text speed in the options. I know that Pokemon is a very popular game, and there are still new and young players coming onto the Pokemon franchise, but longtime fans might be annoyed that for the first hour of the game, you are stuck with one Pokemon without any way to get a Pokeball. For a highly anticipated game, I just want to start catching and building my team without any barriers or interruption. At least there are options to skip the introductory dialogue, the first of many qualities of life changes. Other improvements include being able to access your Pokemon boxes almost everywhere and being able to change your team on the fly, a reusable escape rope for dungeons, and the ability to fast travel on the world map early on in the game, and the ability to change your camera in the wild area. Speaking of the wild area, this has got to be one of the best additions to this Pokemon game. A kind of open world type of gameplay where Pokemons appear to be in their natural habitat and the weather changes that can limit or power up certain Pokemon moves. I emphasize kind of because it's not a very big area and it is mostly empty, but it's a great place to grind and level, and I love to grind and improve my Pokemon team, and it is accessible very early on in the game. You come across some very high level Pokemon in this area, and this can create a very challenging but skippable experience early on. However, this great feature can become a double-edged sword in that because if you grind too early, the rest of the game becomes too easy, especially because of the experience sharing option, where all the experience you gain in battle are divided amongst your whole team, and this is not an optional feature. Also in the wild area, you are introduced to max raid battles in the Dynamax. Dynamax is where your Pokemon becomes monstrous and the moves become more powerful for 3 turns, and the max raid battles are where you can summon the help of 3 other online players or 3 AIs to battle a wild Dynamax Pokemon. Defeating the Dynamax Pokemon will give you experience candy, various berries, and TRs, which are moves that you can give to your Pokemon but can only be used once. I see the Dynamax as more of a gimmick because you can only use it in the raids and gym battles. It reminds me of the summons found in Final Fantasy games, where you just have a giant flashy animation to show off a powerful move. Overall, I don't think it affects the gameplay too much. Camping is also a new feature where you can use toys to play with your Pokemon and combine ingredients to make curry dishes. This will boost your Pokemon team happiness and the amount of experience gained, while the curry acts like a Pokemon Center, healing your Pokemon and removing status effects, with additional bonuses depending on what ingredients are used. It is a good feature, but just feels like a very rudimentary minigame. Now let's address the elephant in the room and talk about the controversy that is Dexit, a term fans use to describe the game developer's decision that the game only contained about 400 of the over 800 available Pokemon, including many Pokemon from the first generation. While it is disappointing not to have the Pokemon many fans grew up with, I see their absence as a new way to experience this game. It brought back the memories of me first playing Pokemon Red and getting excited at every new Pokemon I encounter and how I can incorporate them into my team. Without any familiar Pokemon to fall back on, especially early on in the game, it definitely recreated the first feelings I had when playing Pokemon. Therefore, your enjoyment of Pokemon Sword and Shield will definitely be based on your attitude towards this game. If you are expecting some good old-fashioned Pokemon adventures, then you will enjoy this game. But if you are coming into the game with an axe to grind, then you could definitely nitpick it to death. and miss out on all the fun. Could this game be better? And are there improvements that can be made, such as better graphics and animations, a larger and more active wild area, and even more hands-off approach? In the end, you are still playing a brand new Pokemon game. Think of it as an extension of the Pokemon games from the 3DS, and not as the new and improved installment that was hyped up. Yes, that is a disappointment, but you shouldn't let all the criticism stop you from playing this game. Overall, I give Pokemon Sword and Shield a 7 out of 10 because it's still a very fun Pokemon game, but doesn't have enough improvements to stand out from the other Pokemon games, especially one on the Nintendo Switch. Do you agree with my assessment? Let me know in the comments section. Thanks.